Hey, what's up, everybody? Just going to do a quick morning stream, something I haven't done in a little while, and part of it is that it's actually cool enough outside that I could turn my air conditioner off and get at least decent microphone quality. Over the last couple months, it's been a little bit crazy weather-wise, and I have to have my air conditioner kind of full blown just to be able to stand being in this room. So yeah, so it's a nice morning. I'm really enjoying the cool temperature. Well, relatively cool. It's still in the 70s right now, but still it's a little bit better than the 90s we've had lately. But anyways, I just wanted to talk about a few different things, most notably the new episode of The Bad Batch, which, oh my gosh, I think the end of the season is going to be really where they hit the stride, and I really hope that they didn't screw themselves with the first or the last few episodes or whatever that didn't really seem to push the story forward enough, and I think maybe they could have lost some of their audience and people that kind of gave up on the overall story arc. Whereas this episode truly, and spoilers ahead, I probably won't get too deep into spoilers, but there will be some spoilers ahead. I felt like it really pushed the series where it needs to go. Yeah, Black Sonic. Yes, I totally agree. That it was exactly what we've been really wanting from this series, and I'm not entirely sure why it's taken them so long to kind of get there. Well, let's back up a little bit. I do feel like they've spent a lot of time this season really developing the characters, letting us get to know them. Oh, developing all the characters except Echo. Echo finally got a little bit of play in this. Like, we actually got to see Echo contribute to the team a little bit, which was awesome. How was the last episode? I haven't seen it. It's as close to a 10 as you're going to get, other than the first episode. So the first episode was by far the best. This might be the second best episode. Yeah, the next two episodes are really going to be Sonic. And thank you, Josh. Sonic, I really feel like these next two episodes are going to be about them recovering one of their teammates. And I think it's also going to be about the fall of the clones completely. And I don't think I'm saying too much when I say that. And I'm really interested. You know, I think this whole season we've known the clones weren't going to stick around much longer, and the Empire was going to be done with them. I think we felt that's this entire season, and that the Kaminoans were in danger. And we've really seen that in this last episode. We see just how much danger there is to both the clones and the Kaminoans. And I think that's where this last couple episodes is going to go. What my fear is that because of some of the slower episodes, the audience isn't big enough, and we might not get a season 2 or a season 3. And this long game that Filoni played, which I do believe that. I believe that he's playing the long game on this. That's why there's a lot of quote unquote filler episodes, is because he was looking at this as, okay, we're going to develop this over 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons. The problem is that if Disney says, okay, this isn't going well enough people aren't watching, they could cut it, and then all of a sudden you're going to look back and say they should have just focused on a more complete cohesive story over 10 episodes or so and just done that. So we'll see if his gamble paid off, and see if we get a season 2, season 3, season 4, because I think if we get like 4 seasons, they're going to go back into some of these quote unquote, once again, filler episodes, and we're going to say, all right, those episodes weren't bad, they really set something up for the future. Yeah, the Empire's one of the overall, the Empire's biggest mistake was going for the shock and awe, the overwhelming power, whether it was obviously the Death Star. You know, they really felt like the Death Star, using that to destroy Alderaan, was going to make it so that nobody would want to rebel against the Empire. And instead, it was one of the greatest recruiting tools for the rebellion. And so that just overwhelming power also is going to be shown with them deciding to go with millions upon millions of stormtroopers instead of the, lesser amount of clone troopers that would have been much more skilled. And had they gone for that, had they gone for more subtle and just more skilled tactics, the Empire could have gone on forever. I mean, had they not been as evil, or some of the xenophobia, like had they not decided to enslave the Wookiees, or done a lot of those, enslave the Twi'leks and some of these other species, and if they would have given equal rights to the other species other than humans, the Empire, the Emperor could have been like ruling forever as long as he wanted to, if he wouldn't have gone the routes that he did. He made some serious mistakes. And so this episode, one of the greatest things is that Echo finally got something to do. He's been his story arc has been lacking this series, and I've seen most of the people have complained about that. That's probably the biggest complaint that I've seen, is that Echo has been sidelined. And I love that Echo finally got something to do with this in this episode. Hey, what's up, EY Bullets? Palpatine did the same exact thing that the Jedi did, and in all fairness, Palpatine created this propaganda against the Jedi, not because he was never planning on doing the same thing, but because he knew that if he got the galaxy to hate the Jedi or not trust the Jedi, it was going to make his ascension to Emperor a lot easier. I don't think he ever truly had a problem with how the Jedi did things, as far as, arrogance or whatever, I think, but he wanted to be the one that was in control of it. He wanted to be the one that was in power. And of course he had some problems with their dogmatic ways of doing things. The Emperor most definitely wanted to the dominant force users needed to be ones that pulled from the dark side and used their emotions, and also I'm not convinced that the Emperor truly believed in the rule of two as much as what he said. He believed in it as much as he needed to, so that there weren't enough really powerful Sith or dark side force users to overthrow him. I don't think he ever had any intention of Vader becoming powerful enough to overthrow him. I don't think he trained him in that way, the way that a Sith Master is supposed to. A Sith Master is supposed to push and train their apprentice to the point where their apprentice can overthrow them, kill them, and then become more powerful than them. There's a reason why the Empire dominated the galaxy for over a decade, but there's also a reason why it quickly fell apart after, from the Battle of Scarif on. It quickly fell apart. And part of that was their insistence on using these shock and awe and this overpowering power, instead of just, the order. I mean, the galaxy was ready for law and order. They could have just done that, and they could have done that for centuries. Instead, they had to go for this complete control over people's thoughts and their beliefs and pretty much their entire lives. And that's where I think the Empire really, the Emperor, I don't know if he just calculated that he would be able to do that and not have pushback, or if he just thought that since he was a powerful enough Sith, that the empire that he ruled would be powerful enough to put down any rebellion. They dominated for a good while, but you look at the history of the galaxy of Star Wars. It's thousands of years old, at least 25,000 years since the hyperspace wars, and so the galaxy as a whole, as a big, not necessarily one formal government, but as a group of planets that were working together, has been around for 25,000 years. So this 19-year, or what would it be, 22, 23 years that the Empire was in power, really was just a blip when it comes to the history of the galaxy. Real quick though, I wanted to talk about something else real quick, and I'm not gonna get into any spoilers on this. This is gonna be more about once again the toxicity of fandom, but at the same time where that toxicity, that fine line between being toxic as a fan and just being critical. And that's with the Masters of the Universe, which I have watched the first 5 episodes. Disclaimer, I like them. I watched the first episode and I really wanted to watch the second. I binge watched all 5 episodes, not because I sat down expecting to watch all 5 episodes, but because I wanted to see what happened next. But the reason why I started watching it, period, is because I knew that it was out. So I went on YouTube and I searched for Masters of the Universe and in Revelations, and everything was negative. Every video was negative about it and saying how Kevin Smith lied and it was total garbage and stuff like that. And when I looked at the names of the channels that were saying that it was garbage and giving these bad critical reviews of Masters of the Universe Revelations, it was all these channels that I've seen before that I blocked out of my suggestions or whatever, because they do nothing but everything's negative. They're every thumbnail is Kathleen Kennedy with her eyes glowing red, or you know what I'm saying, like they're all these hate-filled channels. They're the Geeks and Gamers types of I'm surprised Geeks and Gamers hasn't done something on this, because look how negative they are on everything. I can't believe that they haven't done anything on Masters in the Universe. So maybe they did and they just failed to get the algorithms right to come up in search. But then, so today I went through and I looked at the top 6 search term or 6 videos for Masters of the Universe Revelations, and this is what I found, is that other than one of the top 6, all of them, if you go to their channels, and first of all, 5 of the 6 were negative. There was only one that was positive, and that's Previewed. And these guys love everything. They're just really positive people. If you haven't seen Jay and Adam at Previewed, watch their stuff. These guys are just really positive people. But all these other channels, if you go to their channel and look at their last dozen uploads or whatever, almost every single video on all these channels are negative, are hate filled. Their entire channels are built upon them finding something to hate and getting an audience who loves to hear them rant about how much they hate something. So these people, I feel like a lot of these people, hey, what's up, Echo? Hey, Echo, you got a lot more play in this episode of The Bad Batch. I'm very happy for you. But going back to the Masters of the Universe and all these channels that are giving these negative reactions to it, I really feel like these were people who decided, okay, what's the next thing we're going to hate? One of them watched Masters of the Universe Revelations, found all kinds of things to hate. The rest of them got on board and said, yes, we have ammunition for our fans who love to hear us rant about how much we hate something, so let's jump aboard this. And that's not to say that some of the critical things that people are saying about Masters of the Universe Revelations aren't valid. There's a lot of things that I totally understand people not liking, but I personally like them because, I thought the original Masters in the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe cartoon series was hot garbage. It was right in my wheelhouse. Like, my age, it's something I should have loved, but I never really liked it back then. And I would love to say it's because I was more sophisticated back then and hated any kind of show that was shallow, with shallow characters, one-dimensional characters. I don't think that's what it was, but maybe deep down inside, maybe I realized that even at 7-8 years old, maybe I realized that it was just crappy storytelling. But it was horrible storytelling. And this edition of Masters of the Universe by Kevin Smith is much, much, much better storytelling. And if anybody thinks that the original Masters of the Universe He-Man TV series is better storytelling, they're full of shit. However, I completely understand, though, if they love that, if they loved what those stories told, and they feel betrayed by how Kevin Smith has told this story now. And I'll get to that here in just a second in my bullets. But I understand if they feel betrayed by it, but here's the deal. These people that are ranking high for their critical views of Masters of the Universe, I don't feel like any of them were actually fans of Masters of the Universe. I feel like these top 5 or 6 search terms other than previewed, I feel like all of them were just people that literally their channel is about them hating. Their channel is about them being toxic towards different fandoms and different franchises. That's how they get views, and they found a target for it, and they went after Masters of the Universe. But once again, if people are being want to be critical, you know, and if there's reasons to be critical about this series. It's not perfect. And if you don't like the direction that they are going in this series, I totally get it. I totally understand, and you have every right to do that. But once again, I think a lot of this outrage is people that just don't, their whole channels are about them hating. Now, a couple exceptions to that, though, is I know Tyrone Magnus, I can't remember his name exactly. He is somebody that I've seen a couple of his reaction videos, and he's generally a positive person. And I actually went back and I was like, I think he's positive, but even though he doesn't like this series and he's very disappointed in Masters of the Universe. But I went back just to double check, and I looked at his thumbnails and his titles over the last dozen or so videos, and a majority of them, not all of them, but a majority of them are positive about the things that he's talking about. And so for him, I can respect his opinion 100%. Also, Thor Skywalker, who's one of those people that is very critical of the things that he doesn't like, but he doesn't spend all of his time, and this is where I'm going to get to what you said, Eat My Bullets. He doesn't spend a majority of his time talking about the things that he dislikes. He spends more time talking about the things that he actually likes, and I enjoy that. And even though I don't agree with everything that he has to say, I feel like he's got a lot of valid points in the things that he says. But those are the only two that I've seen so far that disliked this Masters of the Universe, where it felt like their critical views of the series was coming from fandom, and not from them going into it trying to figure out what they're going to dislike about the series. And that's where I feel like most of the other these other toxic channels, and I'll just say that, these toxic fan channels, I think that's where most of them came from. Now, and I talked about this in my Levi Bond slash Star Wars Theory video that I did a while ago that got me a lot of views, and I really appreciate those views. And even though there was a lot of people who disagree with what I had to say on that, I appreciate that, Echo. But there's nothing wrong with disliking something and being critical of it, but I feel like if you spend a good majority of your time talking about things that you dislike in life or on channels or whatever it is, you're living a miserable existence. Hey, how's it going, Luke? And I don't enjoy those channels. I don't enjoy those videos. I even have some people that I love Josh from Den of Nerds. I don't watch any of his Star Wars videos right now because I feel like that there's a negative tint to all of it. I love watching him talk Marvel, though. I absolutely love him watching him talk Marvel because he seems to enjoy himself when he's talking Marvel. He doesn't when he's talking Star Wars, and I don't have time to watch those videos. Same thing with Star Wars Theory. There's times if it's a conversation about the sequel trilogy, I'm not going to watch that video because once again, it doesn't feel like he's having fun and enjoying it. And all these other channels that spend all their time just being negative about Star Wars or whatever it is, that's not for me. There's an audience for them. Obviously, there's an audience. They get a lot of views. But for me, man, in my heart, I wish that they would find something that they enjoy to talk about, man. I mean, and maybe they're able to separate that in their lives, and maybe they're negative about these things and they rant, and maybe they get this energy from it, but then they go off and they help little old ladies across the road, and they do these nice things for people, and maybe they're really nice, enjoyable people, and this is just their side gig. They found something that they're good at. They had one rant one time and people loved it and subscribed, and like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And maybe they don't even hate the things that they're ranting about. Maybe they just figured out the formula for getting views, and they're not really hateful people, and they're not negative people. But if that's what they are, is they're just negative about things, and they spend most of their time making videos about things that they hate, I really feel for them, man. Like, that's just not how you should live your life. And that's been my point, is I'm not going to talk about things that I truly dislike a whole lot. I might bring it up every once in a while when it's relevant to something, but I'm not going to sit there and do a whole video and a whole talk about something that I dislike, because to me that's miserable, man. Why live that way? There's zero reason to live that way in life. But anyways, those are the couple things that I had for today. First of all, Masters of the Universe, give it a try. You may or may not like it. In fact, a lot of my audience is younger, probably never saw the original He-Man Masters of the Universe. They have nothing to reference it to or base it on. Give it a try. See if you like it. I thought it was good, solid storytelling. Not perfect, not great. There were some storylines where if they would have waited to have these shocking things that have happened, if they waited more episodes to have them happen, would have had more weight. And I felt like that there was a couple shocking things that didn't hit as good as they probably could. But I think it's a worthy show to watch. And I hope that this next wave of fans, people that are watching it, aren't the ones that jumped on right away to be negative and to review bomb, and that rating does come up. It's never going to be, I mean, it's at like 20-some% or 30-some% on Rotten Tomatoes for audience rating. So I don't think it's ever going to get very high, but I think it will come up as more people who didn't rush to hate it actually start watching it. And then Bad Batch episode 14 has set things up for Bad Batch episode 14 has set things up for an epic finale to this season. I just hope it's enough to get people on board so that Disney gives them more seasons, because I truly feel that the first season of Bad Batch was meant for more than just one season. It's meant for much more, and I think if Filoni thought that there was any chance it was only getting one season, I think there would have been more compact storytelling in the season. And I just hope his gamble pays off. I hope him adding these little like character building moments that don't seem important now but may seem important later, I hope that they get a chance to pay off. I'm streaming Sunday. I'm not sure. I've got to take my daughter back home to her mom's. It's about a 4-hour round trip, 4 or 5 hour round trip. So I'm not sure when we're going to leave and when we're going to get back, but I am definitely streaming Sunday night. I don't have to work Monday morning, so I can actually stay up, enjoy myself without having to worry about getting to bed early or anything like that. And then for anybody out there, definitely subscribe, check back with us when we play Battlefront 2 Sunday night, and we're gonna have some fun, man. It's gonna be a good time, and we'll probably talk more about some of these other things by then. So but anyways, that's all I've got for today. I will definitely see a lot of you here on Sunday night, and I'm really looking forward